Hello and welcome back. I have a question for you. How can we have a social media platform without bombarding our users with notifications? Answer: we can't. So let's implement notifications. Alright, so I want to start by explaining something. So if we go to screens right here, you see when we like a screen or unlike, it's already like a bunch of requests to the database. Now, notifications don't have to arrive instantly, so we can handle them separately. And we can do so by taking advantage of something called database triggers. So if you go to Firestore documentation and you just scroll down to triggers, there's a bunch of different triggers on authentication, on real-time database, and on Firestore. We're interested in the Firestore one. So basically these are kind of like events that watch changes in certain documents, and then on those changes it triggers an event and it does something. So you have on create, on update, on delete, and on write. All right, you can read the documentation page. I'm not going to talk too much about the theory. Let's actually implement this. First thing is we need to create a notification whenever someone likes a post. Okay, a scream. It's not a post. What is a post? That's not a thing. All right, so export dot create. I'm really trying to push the idea of like a scream is like kind of an ape screams and a bird tweets like Twitter, and this would be different, but yeah. Anyway, so create notification on like, and this would be equal to functions dot, and I'm gonna chain this region function. Maybe you don't have to, maybe you do. So check with your, depending on your case. So I'm gonna add the region Europe West 2. And I'm going to chain here the namespace Firestore dot document, and the document we're interested in is in /likes / or is it slash? We could just do likes / like this ID in curly braces, and here our event is the onCreate, so whenever a document is created. And this will have a handler that will take a snapshot and a context. For us, we don't need the context, we just need the snapshot, which is basically a snapshot of this like document that has just been created. So here, inside of here, let's do db. Oh, we can't do db because we haven't imported it yet. Let's import it. So const db equals require, and if you remember, this is in the util, so dot slash on the same level /util /admin. Okay, like this, and here we do db dot document and backticks /screams / we want to get the scream because we need some data from there, so /scream /snapshot dot data dot scream ID. Remember that this is the like document, so we have access to the scream ID. So dot get, this returns a promise dot then, and this will hold a document. So here we need to add this check if doc dot exists. Now of course it's always gonna exist in this case, but it's just good practice to add it. Let's do return. Now inside of here we're gonna create the notification. The reason why we fetch this this scream because we need some data from it. So because we need the owner of the scream, the handle of the owner of the scream. So let's do return db.collection, or actually db.doc, because we know that it's going to be in the notification. So notifications, make sure you don't misspell anything, because I sometimes do that, guilty. Snapshot.id. Now we're gonna give the notification the same ID as the like or the comment later on, and I'll show you later why this is useful. So we do .set, and inside of here we're gonna have a created at, which is gonna be new date .to ISO string. And we're gonna have, actually let me copy and paste this for you to use as a reference. So let's go to db schema, and under comments here, I'm going to paste this. So this is what our notification is going to be like. It's going to have a recipient, which is who's getting the notification, a sender who's sending it, a read of true or false. By default, it's false because it hasn't been read when it's created, a scream ID of which scream this pertains to, a type. In our case, we only have likes and comments, so 2 types, and a created at. All right, let's go back to our index. So we have a recipient, and it's going to be the doc dot data of this, because doc refers to the screen, remember, dot user handle, and we have a sender, and it's gonna be the snapshot dot data, which is the like document, dot user handle. We're gonna have a type. In this case, it's a like, so type is like. A read of false. Okay, this is 5 things. Let's check if we have covered everything. 1, 2, 3, 5. We're missing the scream ID. Okay, let's go back. The scream ID is the snapshot, or let's just use the document. We can use both. So let's do doc.id, which is the scream. Cool, so this returns a promise that holds a, what does it hold? A right result, I think, but it doesn't matter, we're not gonna need it, so we can just leave that empty, and we could just say return. And here, let's do catch error. In case an error happens, actually we don't need a block, we just need to console error. Actually we do, because we need to return. All right, console dot error, the error, and return. We don't need to send back any response because this is a database trigger and it's not a an API endpoint. Let's create the next one. So here we need to do create notification, do the same name, but we change on like to on comment. And this will be functions dot region again. Let me copy this bit here. Functions dot region, and the document will be in comments /id, and we're gonna listen to on create as well. And here we're gonna have a snapshot, and inside of here we're gonna get the scream again. So it's kind of the same. So let's copy all of this. And here we get the document, we check if it exists, and we create a notification with the snapshot ID, which is the comment document ID, and created that. The same, recipient is the same, sender is the same, the type is comment. So let's change this to comment. The doc ID is the same, everything is the same. Cool. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna create all of them and then we're gonna test them. So let's save, and then underneath here, we don't have the ability to delete comments, so we don't have to worry about that. But we have the ability to unlike a post. Actually, I'm gonna put it here. So we need to, because the thing is, we're gonna create notifications, but if someone unlikes the post, we wanna delete that notification. I don't want a user to have a notification for that someone liked their post, and then after they unlike it, they still get the notification, and then they go there and they're like, what? No one liked it. All right, so this is gonna be called delete notification on unlike, like this. So it's gonna be a functions. Again, let me copy this bit. So functions, the region, the document, and the event is gonna be on delete. And we're gonna have a snapshot. And what we need to do here is we just need to do db.doc and backtick slash, what is that? Okay, slash notifications slash snapshot.id. Remember, because it has the same ID. The ID of the like is the same as the ID of the notification that pertains to that like. So slash snapshot slash ID dot delete. This returns, this returns a promise that holds a right result that we're not going to use. So we just leave the the thing empty, and we do return inside of here, and then we do dot catch error console dot error the error, and then return. All right, let's save. And these are DB triggers that we need to deploy for them to work. Save this and make sure you're in the functions folder, and let's do Firebase. Actually, I think the command even works from the root folder. So I don't know why I always have to go into functions. Okay, now that it's deployed, let's go to our functions on Firebase. As you see, we have our DB triggers. Let's copy the endpoint and let's go here. Let's log in, or let's actually create a new account, because why not? So sign up. Let's just test out, just in case, the functionality for adding the default no image picture and stuff like that. Confirm password, the same, and the handle will be Jane. All right, we send the post request to /signup. Oh, email is already in use. Let's just use like new2, and the handle is new2 send. Excuse me. All right, let's take this token and let me make sure that the ID is still correct. I didn't delete that screen. Okay, so we have one screen that starts with QED. Yeah, the ID is correct. Of course, this is a new account. That means we haven't liked it yet. So we'll change the endpoint to /like. Oops, not here. And in the authentication, we do bearer, and we paste the token and we send the request. All right, so like count incremented to 2. We should see a notification collection created and a notification created in a second. All right, so the notification has been created. Let's actually unlike that post or that screen and see if the notification is removed. And it is removed. All right, so let's post a comment and see if we get a notification when we post a comment. Let's change this to a post, and we have a raw body of type application JSON, and we're gonna have a body of the comment. We'll say nice scream again. Let's post the comment. All right, we get nice scream, we get our comment back to us, and we should get a notification created here. All right, we do get our notification, and if we click on it, it says type comment, and it has the correct recipient and sender. The sender was new2, the account was just created, and the recipient was user, which is the owner, or like the person that posted this screen. Cool, so everything works. One other thing that I wanted to edit is in the users handlers file. When we get authenticated user, here we return the user and their likes. We need to return their notifications as well, because we need to access them and show them on the front end. So let's add that. So here, instead of returning user data, we need to do return db.collection notifications where recipient is request.user.handle, and we order by the created at date in a descending order, and we limit by 10. I want to limit to just 10. You can not limit if you want, and then we get them. So let me make sure I didn't misspell anything. All right, so here we change another then, and this will have a data. So we'll do data dot, let's actually initialize user data dot notifications equals an empty array, and here we do data dot for each document user data dot notifications dot push, and we actually need the notification ID as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to push all the fields one by one. So let's do what do we have? Let me put this on the side, just remember what we have. So we have recipient is doc.data.recipient, and let's copy this and paste it like 1, 2, 3, okay, 5 more times. So we have sender, we have created at, we have the scream ID, the type, and the red, and we also need the ID. So let's say notification ID is doc.id, and so after this, after the for each loop, we just do res or return res.json user data, and let's test this out. Let's log in as user, because user right now is the only user that's got any notifications. So let's change that to login, and let's delete these 2 keys and change this to user@email.com. So we get our token. Let's send a get request at /API/user. Actually, we need to either deploy or serve. I'm gonna serve right now. All right. If you've served, make sure you're on localhost and not the deployed one. And let's send the request. And error 9. Oh, it's because we need to create an index. So let's copy this URL, because it's like a complex query, and we need to create an index for it. Create index. This will take a couple of minutes, so I'll be back once it's done. Alright, so our index is now created. So if we send this request again, and there we go, we get our credentials and we get our notifications as well. And if we had any likes, we would get them here, but we don't. Cool, so this is working. Alright, there is 2 more routes that I want to create for users before we finish off this video. Let me close this. Let's go to index.js and create 2 routes here for users. One would be the route where we use to get a user's details, like another user's details, or even our user. So this is, let's say app.get, and it's at /user, or let's say, yeah, /user/ handle. So this is, we pass the handle and the application gives us back the details of this user. And this is a public route. So, and we're going to call this function get user details. And one other one is app.post at /notifications. And these names don't matter, by the way. These are not front-end routes. These are not what the user sees. These are just what we send as requests for our backend. So /notifications, and we'll call this mark notifications red. Let me make sure that I spelled that correctly. Yes, okay. And this is of course protected. Alright, let's add these 2 and we will create them in a second. So here in users, we have get user details and mark notifications red. Alright, let's save and let's go to users and create them. I'm gonna put the get user one here. So let's call this get another, or any user, or any user's details. This will be exports dot get user details. It's gonna take a request and a response, and let's initialize a, say, user data equals an empty object, and here we do db.doc and backticks slash users slash $ curly braces to put a variable request dot params dot handle, yeah, we called it handle, and here we do dot get, so we get this user dot, then we get a document, and here we add the credentials, but of course let's first check if the user exists, so doc.exists, and here we do user data dot user equals, do we need to initialize this? No, I don't think so. So user dot doc dot data, so this is our user data, and then here we do return. Now we want to get their screens, so return, remember this is the users page, we need to see their screens, so return db.collection screens, and where user, is it user handle, not id, user handle equals, so we have this in our request params, so request.params.handle, and we need to sort these as well, so order by created at descending. We might have to create an index for this, so get, so we're going to return it, so in the next then block we're going to have data, and here we initialize user data dot screens as an empty array, and here we do data dot for each, and we get a document here. For each document we need to do user data dot screens. Now here we could just push the data, but we need the ID as well, so we need to do .screens dot push, and we create a new object, so we need the body of the screen, doc.data.body, and let's copy this, and so we have a created that, a user handle, a user image, like account, and a comment count, and here we have screen id equals doc.id. So what did we say? Created at, don't forget to click Control D, user handle, user image, like count, and comment count. All right, so I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. We just need their screens. All right, so after the for each, we need to do return response.json user data, and here after the dot then we do dot catch error console dot error, the error, and return res.status 500 dot json error.code. All right, so this is sorted, and I'm gonna serve just to start creating the, oh, I was already serving, what am I doing? I'm gonna serve and test this just for it to prompt me to create the index, and then let it create, and then we're gonna create the mark notifications red route, what's happening. Route.post requires a callback function but got an object undefined. Oh, because we haven't created this function yet. Let's just comment this out and try again. Oh, of course, let me remove it as well from here because there is no export for that. Actually, we're not handling if the document doesn't exist. So let's do an else here. So if the document actually doesn't exist, we need to return a response, return response.json or .status first of 404.json error user not found. Let's save, and it's gonna serve again. And here let's do a get request without any authorization header at /API/user, and we get, let's say, Jane. Do we have Jane? User not found. Actually, I didn't delete the account itself, I just deleted the entry in users table. We have Johnny, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's gonna give us the error for the index, I think. Okay, I misspelled something. Status here. But why would it get here? Oh yeah, okay, there we go. So let's copy this and create the index. Okay, while this index is being created, let's create the other mark notifications read function. So exports.mark notifications read. Now the way this is going to work is that when you open a drop down that has a couple of notifications that are not read, we are going to send to our server an array of IDs of those notifications that the user has just seen, so we can mark them red, so they're not marked as unread on the client side anymore. So we're gonna need to do something new called a batch write, which is in Firebase when you need to write or update multiple documents. So let's do let batch equals db.batch like this as a function, and let's do request.body, and here we're gonna have a property called but actually we're gonna have an array as the body. So let's do for each, so our body is an array, and for each notification, and here it doesn't matter, we can call it anything, but let's call it notification, const notification equals db.doc, and where /notifications, and remember this is backtick, so I can use this variable notification, notification, this one. But this is an array of IDs, but let's change this name to notification ID. Here notification ID, so it makes more sense. So now we have this document. We need to do batch.update, and this, I misspelled that, update, and this is gonna take a document reference, which is the notification that we just created there, and what we want to update. So the key is red, and we want to make it true because the user has just read this. So once the for each is done, we can do batch.commit, .commit, which returns a promise, and we do .then, doesn't hold anything, I think, and we just return response.json, and we're just gonna have a message. We'll say notifications marked red. All right, and we catch. Do we need to return response? Yes. Okay, so let's say console.error, the error. Okay, so this is done. Mark notifications red, and let's bring it back here. So mark notifications red, and let's uncomment this route. And what we need to do now, okay, so the index has been created, so we can send this request to get the data of Johnny, and we should be able to see the data of Johnny here. And we do. Cool. So we get users and we get the screams. He doesn't have any screams. User has a scream, we should see here. Cool, user has a scream. All right, so let's try to get, so user has some notifications, right? If we go to our database, no, not authentication database. So in notifications, user has one notification. Let's actually add another notification for user somehow. How do we do that? Let's log in as John or Johnny. Let's get Johnny's handle. Oh, but or let's comment actually. So we can comment on as Johnny. We can comment on user's scream. So here we'll say nice scream from Johnny, and we send this post request. Yeah, nice scream from Johnny, and we go here, find that there is a comment. Actually, there's multiple comments on the same post, on the same scream, but we don't have, okay, now we have two notifications. So let's take these IDs. This is why we needed to send back the ID of the notification, because we need to use it when we wanna mark it as read. So our body is gonna be of type JSON. It's gonna have an array of strings. So the first string is going to be this ID, and then the second string is going to be this ID. And remember that they are false. They have false for red. They're not red yet. So this is the second ID, and we need to send this request at /API/notifications. There's a post request, and we need actually Johnny's token. Actually, we need user's token. Oh. All right, we send this. Actually, a /API/notifications. Did I make a mistake? Okay, I misspelled notifications. Let's send this request. We get notifications marked red, and if we look at our database, they have true for red. Cool. So we're done with users routes. In the next video, we're gonna actually finish the backend by adding functionality for deleting a user's post, deleting comments and likes of a post that has been deleted, and one other DB trigger that I can't remember right now. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.